Hey guys. Alright, in this video, I am going to talk a little bit about some of the things that Beckett went through when this was happening. I'm just going to jump right in. So on July 10th, 2015, so about 3 months after this all started, Beckett had told me that he saw ghosts again, and I asked where, and he shouted everywhere. And I asked, you mean, did it move from the kitchen to the living room? And he yelled, no, they were everywhere. And he said they were all boys, they were watching him and scary, and he was hysterical and crying. And so at this time we were teaching, me, not my husband so much, teaching the boys how to pray. And so I know he was starting to pray on his own, and he slept with us a lot after this because he was just too scared to sleep in his own room. But this night he, let's see, find where it is. This was July 31st, so the end of the same month. So my notes here were, nothing has happened since asking our guardian angels, is how I wrote this, to guard us. And last night, Beckett woke up, went upstairs because they were all sleeping in our room because everyone was so scared. My daughter and my 3 boys were all sleeping in our room with us, and we were all in the basement. So we had the big family room converted into a bedroom. And he had told me the next morning that he went upstairs by himself because he peed his bed, went up and changed his clothes, and came back down. And I asked him the next day if everything was okay since he didn't wake me up, and he had told me the ghosts were still there, but he wasn't scared because his angel was protecting him. And that was a relief. Also creepy knowing that he could see the demons all around. And guys, there's a reason that God allowed him to be able to see this, and it was to wake our family up. And it did bring us back to the Lord, even though it was a really tough time. It was really hard on Beckett, hard on Owen. He was also having things happen, not as bad as Beckett, but it's the only way I think God knew to wake me up and do something to get back to my faith, get back to my relationship with him. And so, all right, let's go on here. I just want to read this. It's kind of cool. So, November 10th, 2015, I had just finished listening to the Bible and started over. So apparently I just started over, was going to listen to the whole thing again. Push pause on Moody Radio to go back to the Bible. Okay, so I rotated Moody Radio and the Bible every day for the first couple years after coming back to the Lord. Oh my goodness, if you've never listened to that radio station, I highly recommend it. It helped my walk with the Lord grow so fast because of the sermons and the talk shows. Janet Parshall, Chris Fabry, just, it's wonderful. Anyways, so I had finished the Bible, was listening to Moody, push pause to go back to the Bible. I kept pushing pause, and it wouldn't stop, just like the last time when Take Me to Church song came on when I was doing that. This time, I just kept listening. They were talking about Genesis, And so I felt like God wanted me to listen to what they were saying. And so they were talking about a family that was being haunted by demons, and they had gotten a group to go into every room and pray to cleanse the home of evil spirits. And after that, I did get our pastor of our church to come through, and we did a prayer walk with the whole family, minus my husband. He was gone working, I think. Every room did a cleansing, and so I believe the Lord wanted me to hear that. He used Moody Radio a lot throughout these years, a lot. So I highly recommend, if you are trying to hear from the Lord, He uses things like that to communicate with you. Next topic was how to combat all about me worship. God, what can I do for you? Then the discussion was about cleansing your conscience and asking for forgiveness from those you've wronged or hurt. God convicted him, made him think about, feel guilt over the sins he wanted him to be freed from. We need to get right with God, prepare the way for Jesus to come, prepare a highway of holiness so His holiness can be seen by others in my life. Then they talked about tablets, radio frequency, radiation being damaging to children, and to turn off the Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, put phones on airplane mode at night. Ever since I listened to this, I have done that. Our phones all go on airplane mode at night. I shut off the Wi-Fi. I just don't think it's good for us. And then the last thing they said was spirits, demons prefer to reside in humans. And if you're not saved, you are susceptible to that. Unfortunately, anyone who isn't saved, demons want you. And if you aren't one of God's children, you're not protected, and you can very well have demons. They'll definitely torment you, that's for sure. All right, moving on to 2016. And I'm just going to read about things that the Lord did in my life throughout this time. These are all things that will show you that He is real, He is alive, He listens to us, He loves us and wants to help us. January 5th, 2016, was praying for guidance with my marriage, and within the hour, a program came on Moody saying to download the 3 audiobook, Lasting Love by Alistair Begg, a book about biblical wisdom for a loving, lasting marriage. Thank you, Lord. See, He is so awesome. January 19th, prayed for my sisters. Neither one are walking with the Lord. My older sister is more so now, trying to, I think. But here it says, Moody pastor said, if you know a non-believer, ask them if they're willing to take the 21-day experiment, Gospel of John. Read a chapter a day, and on the 21st day, ask God, if you're real, please show me. This is no ordinary book. This book is alive, and it is life. It gives life. The very next show on Moody was Chris Fabry. He had a post-gay speaker talking about how he overcame the belief that he was gay. Read the book, Out of a Far Country. Those pages don't just hold ink, they hold the very breath of God. Though he was gay from age 8, had sexual attraction to men, was living the gay life, got expelled from college for selling drugs, later went to prison, found a Bible in the trash in prison, started reading it, became saved, and overcame his attraction to other men. Okay, so my older sister has been living that lifestyle, and the fact that God put this on here right after I had prayed is also God. I just know it is. He answers us. He loves us. Don't forget that. And then the next speaker was also talking about how he overcame this belief that he was gay. And we all have our sin that we need to work on. We all have our issues. I heard someone talk about we all struggle with identity issues. All of us do. And it's not just about being gay. We have to understand that our identity is in Jesus Christ. And really, once we have that foundation and understanding, well, that's where we need to start from in our healing process. But that's a whole nother story. So I'm going to tell you this one more story. And these aren't my dreams, but I'll get to that. So January 2016, I went to bed early, woke up at 10:30, instantly prayed for Chad, my husband, to drive safe since working swing shift and would be coming home about then. In the morning, Chad had told me that he slid on ice, went off the road, and hit a tree. The tree kept him from going over the edge of the hill, and he said it happened at 10:30. That was when I woke up and prayed. Oh my goodness, prayer is so important. It is so meaningful. We have to keep praying. Always pray for your loved ones, those who are lost. That's something I need to remind myself of constantly. All right, guys, I'm ending this one, and I'll be back on.